Before the journey begins, let your breath become your lantern. Inhale gently through your nose, as if you're drawing in the fragrance of pine needles warmed by candlelight. Hold that soft brightness for a moment, and then exhale through your mouth in a slow, unhurried sigh, like mist drifting over a quiet lake. Again, breathe in and imagine a cozy, woolen blanket unfolding across your shoulders. Breathe out and feel your jaw loosen, your shoulders settling, your hands unclenching. Let your eyelids grow heavy and friendly, not pushing them closed, simply allowing them to rest as if they've found a cushioned windowsill. With your next breath, picture a single snowflake spiraling down, then another and another, each one landing somewhere inside you with a hush. They melt as they arrive, leaving little pools of calm that gather into a silver blue stream, winding slowly through you. You are safe. You are warm. You are welcome here. When you're ready, you open your inner eyes to a winter evening in a small village where the chimneys speak in lazy curls of smoke and the cobblestones wear a soft quilt of snow. Lanterns glow along the lane, golden puddles of light that tremble a little in the gentle wind. To your left, a bakery window fogs from the heat of fresh bread, and when the door opens for a bundled customer, a ribbon of cinnamon breathes out to greet you. To your right, a toy shop displays a mobile of paper stars that turn slowly, each one painted with a tiny sleeping moon. You stand by the village square fountain, where water has become crystal lace. The stone rim is cushioned with snow, and someone has tucked a sprig of holly in the statue's folded hands. The clock in the church tower hums a low, contented note, more a purr than a chime, and far in the distance, bells answer from some place you cannot see yet, the sound round and friendly, like a handful of polished river stones settling in your palm. A carriage waits for you at the edge of the square. Its body is painted a comforting forest green, dulled by years and softened by snow dust. Along its sides, a pattern of yarn-twine branches and tiny starlit berries has been hand-painted by someone with patient love. The wheels wear velvet earmuffs of snow, and their iron hoops have been brushed with something that makes them whisper rather than creak. A lantern swings from the front, the flame breathing steadier than the wind, as if it has learned a sleepy song. The horse is the color of warm bread crust, a seal brown bay with a star on its forehead, shaped exactly like a little thumbprint. Steam glows around its muzzle, a pearly halo that rises and disappears. The horse's name, you're told, is Bramble, a name chosen for sweetness and strength, for his habit of finding the softest paths through any thicket. He flicks one ear toward you, and then the other, polite and curious, and stamps a hoof as if to say, "Shall we?" The driver, Mara, stands on the ground beside the door, a sturdy figure wrapped in a long quilted coat, the color of midnight tea. Her scarf is knitted in generous loops and peppered with bits of glittering frost that wink as she moves. When she smiles, her eyes gather at the corners like little birds coming home. "You're just in time," she says, voice low as a wool-lined pocket. "The forest path is best when the world is mostly blue." She gestures to the carriage. "Come in, settle. We'll go as the snow goes, quietly, with purpose." Inside, the carriage smells like cedar and lavender, something that has known many winters and kept them kindly. Cushions are piled along the bench in shades of oatmeal and moss. A thick blanket, weighty as a promise, waits for your lap. A tiny silver bell, a single one, hangs from the interior roof with a slender ribbon. It doesn't ring when the door closes, but it seems to hum, a vibration more felt than heard, like the sigh a cat makes when it decides to fall asleep against your knee. You slide onto the cushion, feeling the carriage's gentle acceptance, and tuck the blanket over your lap. The window glass is slightly wavy, turning the lanterns outside to soft watercolors. Mara climbs up to the driver's seat, and the leather harness breathes. Bramble gathers himself, not with impatience, but with a quiet readiness, as if he knows he is carrying not only passengers, but also wishes. "Ready?" Mara asks, turning only half toward you, so she won't disturb the snow on her shoulders. You nod, and she clicks her tongue in a sound like a match being struck. The carriage moves with a tender lurch that doesn't jar, just cradles. The wheels find their rhythm, a hush, 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 and Bramble's bells begin their gentle conversation. A few notes, low and bright, answering the village's sleepy song. You pass the bakery again, and the scent of sugar and nutmeg follows you for a small while like a friendly pup. The toy shop stars turn, and as you drift by, one of them seems to dip a fraction lower, as if bowing to you. A cat, grey as ash and round as a teapot, sits under a windowsill and blinks its acceptance of the night. The last house at the lane's end has a wreath on the door, and a pair of tiny mittens hangs beside it, drying and dreaming of snowball mornings. Beyond the houses, the forest begins. The path is wide enough for one carriage and a small secret. Snow-laden branches droop in kindly arches, and as you pass beneath them, they release the faintest chime, a whispering, crystalline reply to Bramble's bells. The air cools, but does not bite. It kisses. You breathe in the clean scent of pine resin, the faint peppery note of bark, the delicate sweetness of snow itself, which smells like the space between a thought and a memory. Mara does not hurry. She lets Bramble choose the pace, and the horse chooses a tempo like slow music, a dance you could do with your eyes half closed. The lantern at the front throws an amber oval onto the path, and snowflakes appear inside it for a moment before becoming part of the night again. Every so often, Mara leans forward to murmur something to Bramble, praise perhaps, or a story about the tracks crossing your path, a hare's careful stitches, a fox's soft cursive, the hieroglyph of a feather that landed and lifted away. Inside the carriage, your body loosens, piece by piece, as if someone were untying ribbons. Your ankles release, your calves let go, your knees float, your thighs become heavy in the nicest way, and your hips soften as if they have set down a satchel they'd been carrying for too long. Your spine lengthens like a page smoothing under a palm. Your shoulders settle again, deeper this time. Your jaw stops holding on. The little muscles around your eyes fall into dream-colored hammocks. Through the window, the forest's blues accumulate. Ink, blue, slate blue, blueberry jam, the blue of a robin's egg sleeping in a nest. Where snow humps over rocks and roots, it has the faintest glow from within, a friendly bioluminescence, like the warmth of fireflies in summer transposed to winter. You realize that the snow here remembers the sun, even at night, and gives back just enough of that memory to guide you. A wind moves through the branches, a quiet librarian, reminding the trees to keep their voices low. When it passes, the silence that returns is not empty, it is full of listening. You can hear Bramble's breath, the velvet exhale of a creature content with its work. You can hear the harness leather shift like a page turning, You can hear your own heart, and it, too, has slowed, finding a spacious measure that matches the bells. Mara glances back, and though you can't see much of her face beneath her fur-trimmed hat, you catch the lantern's gleam in her eyes. "There," she says softly, and gestures with her chin. Ahead, the trees lift a little, and the path opens into a small meadow where the snow has lain undisturbed. At the far side, a low stone wall forms a rectangle around nothing, perhaps a garden that sleeps until spring, or a place where time folds its coat and rests. Bramble's hooves make prints like commas this way, graceful pauses in the page of white. The carriage follows, composing its own gentle sentence. You find yourself thinking that the forest, the horse, the carriage, and your breath are writing together something soothing, something about going without leaving, about arriving without urgency. "Sometimes, if you listen," Mara murmurs, "the snow tells a lullaby. You let your hearing tilt toward the soft. At first, it is only the hush of flakes landing, barely a sound, more a sensation, like the tickle of a feather drifting to your sleeve. Then, beneath it, you hear the suggestion of a melody, woven low and close to the ground, an old tune meant to be heard by moss and root and rabbit fur. It hums about rest and paths that remember your steps. It hums about warm kitchens waiting at the end of journeys. It hums about how every night is only the soft hallway to morning. You place your palm on the window, and the glass is cool enough to notice, but not cold. Your fingertips gather the faintest mist of your breath. When you lift your hand, a shape remains on the glass for a few seconds. Something like a leaf, something like a wing. You smile without meaning to, and your smile makes the carriage even cozier, as if your contentment is another candle added to its light. Bramble slows and then pauses as the path bends beside a stream not yet fully asleep. Where the water runs, it makes a tinkling, like tiny porcelain cups touching in a cupboard. The moon, peeking through a scarf of clouds, drops a coin of silver on the stream, and a fish, you're sure of it, rises to look with a bright eye before sinking back to dream among stones. Mara reaches under her seat and brings out a small tin. "Peppermint caramel?" she offers. The caramel is soft, wrapped in waxed paper, crinkly as fallen leaves. You let it melt on your tongue, a sigh of sweetness opening in your throat, warming all the way down like a cordial of liquid kindness. The stream's voice joins the bells in the hush and the lullabying snow, and together they make a music that requires nothing from you at all. You lean your head to the cushion and feel the carriage embrace it, just so. When Bramble starts again, you hardly notice the moment of movement. It feels as if you're already traveling in your rest. As the path draws you deeper into the forest, the spaces between the trees begin to sparkle, not with frost alone, but with something that looks like the idea of stars. It's as if the night has sown a few extra constellations among the branches. For those who travel here with gentle hearts, you're not surprised. This is the kind of path where such kindness happens quietly, without explanation, entirely for the sake of comfort. You breathe in one more time, and the air sits like velvet in your chest. You breathe out, and the window's wing-shaped fog appears again, then fades. Mara's shoulders relax, another shade. Bramble's tail swishes softly, a brushstroke on the canvas of the night. The lantern ahead steadies, golden and faithful. The forest path continues, curving like a sentence that wants to say, "Rest now," and you feel yourself happily obeying. The story of this ride has only just begun. and already it is holding you the way a quiet room holds evening, gently, completely, and with infinite patience. The sound of the carriage wheels settles into a rhythm, a steady hush over the snow that seems to match your own breathing. You sink further into the cushions, the weight of the blanket warm and reassuring against your legs. Each sway of the carriage feels like a rocking cradle, carrying you deeper into stillness. The forest closes in again, branches interlacing above like cathedral arches spun from pine and frost. Icicles dangle from the tips, long glass chimes that catch the lantern's glow and scatter it into small, shimmering fragments. Each one drips with the possibility of song, but they remain quiet, as though saving their music for the first light of morning. Bramble moves forward with unhurried strength. You can hear the soft puff of his breath, rising in clouds of silver mist that curl and fade. His bells sound once, twice, notes as gentle as a lullaby sung by the world itself. Mara leans into her seat, reins loose in her hands, trusting the horse to know the way. The path dips slightly, bringing you alongside a brook that has not yet fully frozen. Its voice is soft and tinkling, like porcelain cups touching in a cupboard. Thin veils of ice form along the edges, their patterns resembling lacework stitched by unseen hands. The water carries flecks of moonlight, tiny gleams that float like drifting stars. You press your palm lightly to the glass, letting the coolness ground you. Beyond the window, a hare bounds across the snow, leaving neat little prints like scattered commas. For a moment it pauses, ears lifted as though listening to the bells. Then, as quietly as it came, it disappears among the pines. The forest air holds a fragrance both sharp and soothing, the resin of pine needles mingling with the faint, peppery scent of bark. Every inhale feels like a cleansing draft, filling you with clarity, while each exhale dissolves what remains of the day's weight. Inside the carriage, you shift slightly and discover that the cushions yield with tender patience. The blanket tucked around you holds the faint aroma of lavender, as if it has been stored with sprigs of the flower in a cedar chest. It's a scent that brings the image of summer meadows to mind, even here in the depth of winter. Mara glances back and offers a small smile. Almost everyone falls asleep on this ride, she says softly, her voice the warmth of tea poured into a waiting cup. But if you wish to stay awake, the forest always has little wonders to share. As if to agree, the trees part just enough to reveal a clearing lit by the moon. Snow lies thick and undisturbed, sparkling as though diamonds have been sprinkled carelessly across its surface. At the center of the clearing, a circle of stones forms a ring, their tops dusted with white. You feel an odd certainty that this place remembers gatherings of people, of animals, of stories whispered long ago. Bramble slows, hooves crunching with a deeper sound as he crosses the open space. His breath rises like smoke against the stars. For a moment, the forest falls utterly silent, as though holding its breath with you. Then, from somewhere overhead, a single owl calls low, round, and resonant, carrying across the snow like a bell rung in slow motion. You close your eyes and listen. The owl's call seems to echo inside your chest, joining with your heartbeat until the two are indistinguishable. It doesn't feel lonely, only watchful, like a guardian assuring you that this path is safe, that you are exactly where you should be. When you open your eyes, Mara has guided the carriage onward, and the clearing drifts behind you. Trees fold in around the path once more, but now they feel even gentler, their branches lowered like friends offering shelter. You notice how each detail of the forest has its own pace, the snowflakes drifting at their leisure, the brook's quiet murmuring, the owl's occasional call, the steady rhythm of bramble's steps. Together, they weave a tapestry of time measured not in minutes, but in softness. The lantern ahead glows brighter against the deepening blue. Shadows bend long across the snow, yet they are never heavy. They only remind you of the light that casts them, and with every turn of the wheels, you feel yourself gliding deeper into rest, as though the path itself were made to carry you toward peace. Your eyes grow heavy, not with effort, but with permission. The forest whispers that you may close them, if you wish, and trust that you'll be guided still. Inside, the silver bell above you trembles just slightly as the carriage sways, not ringing but humming faintly, a note felt more than heard. And as you lean your head back against the cushioned seat, the ride continues, snowflakes painting their delicate lullabies on the glass, the forest surrounding you like a quilt stitched from silence and stars. The journey has only just begun, and already you are safe, you are warm, you are at ease. The path deepens into the heart of the forest, where snow gathers thick along the edges, and the trees lean in, their branches draped in silver like shawls around patient shoulders. The lantern at the front of the carriage swings gently with each motion, casting an amber oval of warmth that travels ahead of you, always waiting, always welcoming. Bramble steps remain steady, crunch, pause, crunch like a heartbeat that knows exactly how to pace itself. His ears twitch now and then, catching the faint rustle of small creatures tucked away in burrows and nests. Each sound is soft, as if the forest itself is careful not to disturb the peace of your journey. You shift slightly beneath the blanket, letting its weight settle comfortably around your shoulders. The fabric is heavy enough to soothe, yet soft enough to feel like being held. You notice the faintest hum in the air, a vibration of bells, of breath, of snow falling upon snow. It isn't music in the usual sense, but you feel it as surely as a song, woven into your chest, steadying your breath. The forest opens suddenly to a small wooden bridge. Its railings are frosted white, and beneath, a stream slides silently, half asleep beneath layers of ice. The water glimmers in places where the moon has found its way through the branches, creating ribbons of silver that flow alongside you. Bramble's hooves touch the bridge with care, and the wheels of the carriage give a hushed creak, softened by the snow piled in the gaps. Mara leans slightly forward, her scarf glittering with tiny crystals of frost. "This bridge is older than any of us," she says gently, as if speaking to the night. "It's been carrying dreams for hundreds of winters. Every carriage, every wanderer, every wish, it remembers them all." You look out the window, and for a moment you can almost sense it, the history held in the wood, the footsteps of travelers, the echoes of laughter and whispers long gone. The bridge feels like a threshold, carrying you not only across the stream, but into a deeper part of the story. On the other side, the path curves, bringing you through a stand of birch trees. Their bark gleams pale, striped like parchment with ink. Snow piles at their bases, and from their thin branches, flakes drift downward in slow spirals. You watch one land on the window glass, a perfect star, delicate and whole. For the briefest moment, it clings, showing its pattern clearly before melting away into a drop of water that slides lazily down the pane. Inside the carriage, the silver bell above you stirs again with the sway of movement, Its faint vibration feels almost like a whisper just for you, a reminder that you are not simply a passenger, but a part of the forest's quiet conversation. As you travel further, the woods become darker, not menacing, but hushed, as though inviting you to lean closer and listen. The lantern's glow touches tree trunks here and there, painting stripes of honey across the snow. Each illuminated patch feels like a stepping stone of safety across the shadowed ground. Mara hums softly to herself, a tune low and without words. It blends seamlessly with the sounds of the night, the brook's murmur, bramble's breath, the occasional crackle of ice shifting. You realize that everything around you, the carriage, the horse, the driver, the snow, has fallen into the same rhythm of calm, and you, without effort, have fallen into it too. Through a break in the branches, the sky opens, revealing a sweep of stars. They scatter across the heavens like spilled flour on dark velvet. The constellations seem brighter in the cold, each one sharp, each one glowing with a steady, timeless patience. You find yourself breathing in sync with them, each inhale and exhale slower, quieter, more complete. In the distance, you spot another clearing. This one holds a small wooden hut, smoke curling faintly from its chimney. A single lantern glows in the window, a golden eye peering out into the snowy world. Mara gestures toward it. An old forester's shelter, she explains quietly. No one lives there now, but the forest keeps it ready for anyone in need of warmth. As you pass, you catch a glimpse inside, just a shadowy outline of shelves, a chair beside a hearth, and a wool blanket folded neatly on the seat. It feels as though the place is waiting patiently, holding its breath for the moment someone steps inside and lights the fire again. The sight fills you with a gentle reassurance. Everywhere you go, there are pockets of safety, places prepared for rest, even if they are empty for now. Bramble continues at his steady pace, hooves brushing snow into soft punctuation marks along the path. The forest deepens once more, and with it, the lull of the journey. You sink further into the cushions, feeling the weight of your eyelids grow, the blanket anchoring you to the present moment in the most comforting way. The trees sway faintly overhead, their movement silent, like guardians nodding in approval. The forest seems to whisper, all is well, all is calm, all is quiet. And with every breath, you travel further into the heart of the snowy path, guided by lantern light, held by stillness, carried by peace. The forest grows softer the further you travel. The snow seems deeper here, muffling every sound except for Bramble's steady hooves and the low hum of the carriage wheels. Each step feels like it presses into a cushion of silence, as if the world itself has been padded for comfort. The lantern at the front sways with the rhythm of the ride, and its light brushes the snow in golden arcs. Sometimes it catches the edge of a branch and makes the frost sparkle like a sudden scattering of diamonds spilled across bark. Sometimes it glimmers against the snowdrifts along the side of the path, painting them into gentle dunes that shimmer as though alive with quiet breath. You sink deeper into the carriage seat, adjusting slightly under the weight of the blanket. The lavender scent lingers faintly, weaving itself into your breath, calming you with every inhale. The cushions cradle you, as though they have memorized the shape of countless travelers before you, and now they hold you just as tenderly. Mara tilts her head back to glance at the sky through the branches. This is the forest's lull, she says softly, her voice barely louder then the snows hush. It always happens after midnight. The trees lean in closer, the stars hold their breath, and everything begins to dream. You follow her gaze upward. The branches knit together in a lace of black and silver, and through the gaps you see the stars, so many of them that they look like frost shaken across velvet. One, brighter than the rest, hangs low, guiding the path like a lantern of its own. You let your eyes linger there until the brightness feels like it has imprinted into your chest, a quiet compass glowing inside you. Bramble breathes out a long plume of mist. It curls upward, a slow ghost of warmth that catches in the lantern light before dissolving. His ears twitch once, twice, then settle. You notice the calm patience in his gait. No hurry, no strain, just a steady assurance, as though he knows this road well, as though he carries not only passengers but peace itself. The path bends, and suddenly you emerge into a wider space. Here the snow has blanketed the ground in smooth, rolling mounds that gleam faintly with moonlight. At the center stands a cluster of fir trees, tall and proud, their branches heavy with snow. From their limbs hang tiny icicles, dozens of them, catching the starlight, so they glitter faintly, like ornaments strung by invisible hands. Mara slows Bramble to a gentle stop. "Listen," she whispers. At first, all you hear is the stillness. Then, gradually, you notice it, the sound of the icicles shifting in the breeze, brushing against one another with faint, crystalline tones. The forest has become a hidden cathedral, its music not made by human hands, but by winter itself. The notes are soft, almost secretive, as if meant only for those who pause long enough to listen. The melody washes through you like cool water, smoothed over warm skin, refreshing, quieting, pure. You close your eyes and let the sound thread into you. It mingles with your breath until you feel that you, too, are part of the song. When you open your eyes again, Mara is smiling, her cheeks glowing in the lantern light. The trees gift this music to travelers who move with kindness, she says gently. It is their way of saying, "Rest well." Bramble flicks his tail, and the sound of bells mingles with the crystalline chime of the icicles, as if he has joined the chorus. For a moment, the forest is alive, with harmony, snow, wind, ice, horse, and carriage, each adding its own quiet voice. Eventually, Mara gives a soft click of her tongue, and Bramble begins to move again. The bells fade back into their steady rhythm. The wheels hush over snow, and the icicle's song lingers in your memory, like a lullaby you know you will hear again in dreams. As the carriage rolls onward, you feel even heavier with calm, as though the forest has wrapped you in its arms. The air grows cooler, but beneath the blanket, you are warmed by the comfort of being carried forward, gently, steadily, without effort. The path curves once more, and you let your eyelids drift halfway closed. Through the window, the forest becomes a watercolor of shapes and shadows, lantern light blurring into soft amber patches. You let your body follow the motion of the carriage, rocking like a leaf in a stream, safe and held. And as you travel deeper into the snowy night, you realize that each turn of the path leads not only through the forest, but further into rest, toward a stillness that waits patiently, ready to welcome you whenever you arrive. The path narrows again, winding deeper between the trees. Here, the snow feels untouched, as though no one but you has traveled this way in many winters. The branches stretch high overhead, a canopy of dark boughs laced with frost, and the lantern light paints them in shades of copper and gold. The whole forest seems to bend gently toward the carriage, as though it wishes to keep you company. Bramble moves slowly, his hooves sinking into the snow with soft, muffled thuds. Each step feels deliberate, like punctuation marks on a page written in silence. His breath swirls in clouds, drifting backward toward the carriage, and you can almost imagine them as soft signals, telling you all is well, all is steady, rest easy. Mara sits relaxed in her seat, reins loose in her gloved hands. The fur on her hat glimmers faintly with frost. From time to time, she leans forward to murmur something to Bramble, perhaps encouragement, perhaps simply a friendly word. Her voice blends so seamlessly with the hush of the forest that you can't always tell where her words end and the night begins. The snow begins to fall again, light and unhurried. Flakes drift down in slow spirals, catching the lantern glow before they vanish into the white quilt below. Through the wavy glass of the window, the snowfall looks like a dream made visible. Thousands of stars that have decided to visit the earth for just one evening. Inside, the blanket holds its warmth close to you, heavy yet tender, like the hand of a dear friend resting over yours. You nestle deeper into the cushions, their softness cradling your body with patience. Your eyelids feel heavier than before, and every blink lingers longer, as if the forest itself is encouraging you to drift. The carriage sways gently around a bend, and you find yourself gazing into a new kind of quiet wonder. Ahead, a cluster of tall pines parts slightly, revealing a clearing. In the center stands a frozen pond, smooth as glass, its surface reflecting the moonlight so perfectly that it looks like a silver mirror laid upon the earth. Mara slows Bramble again, and the bells hush into silence. The only sound is the whisper of snowflakes landing, the faint creak of the harness leather. The pond always waits here, Mara says softly. It's as if it wants every traveler to pause and see themselves, not in water, but in light. You lean toward the window, gazing at the mirror of ice. For a moment, you see the lantern flame doubled, glowing both before you and beneath you. You see the carriage, Bramble, Mara, and even yourself all reflected, all softened, all shimmering. But beyond those shapes, the reflection seems to hold something more, a suggestion of starlight that doesn't quite match the sky, as if the pond keeps its own constellations hidden beneath its surface. You breathe slowly, deeply, letting the vision settle into you. The pond's silence feels alive, a kind of listening that asks nothing in return. You let it hold you, as though you, too, are reflected there in the silver calm. Bramble stabs a hoof gently, sending a soft echo across the clearing, and then waits, patient as ever. Mara tilts her head toward you. "When you're ready," she murmurs, and after a few more breaths, when the reflection has settled warmly in your chest, she gives a small tug on the reins, and Bramble steps forward again. The wheels roll, the bells resume their soft notes, and the frozen pond slowly drifts behind you, carrying its secret constellations with it. But you know the memory will stay, tucked like a candle in your pocket, ready to glow whenever you call upon it. The path resumes, winding once more between tall trunks. The snow falls a little heavier now, a steady shower of feathers drifting down. You watch it gather along the carriage windowsill, a soft mound of white that grows by the minute. The flakes blur the world beyond, turning the forest into a painting done in watercolor strokes. You feel yourself drifting with it, your thoughts softening, your breath slower, your body heavier with rest. The snow's rhythm becomes your rhythm, unhurried, gentle, endlessly soothing. As the carriage rocks forward, you close your eyes for a moment. Even with them closed, you can sense the glow of the lantern, the hush of the snow, the sway of the journey. You are being carried, not just through a forest, but into peace itself, as if every turn of the wheels draws you deeper into rest. And when you open your eyes again, the night welcomes you back with the same quiet patience, ready to guide you further along the snowy path. The snowfall eases, leaving behind a hush so deep you feel as if the entire world has taken a long, contented sigh. The forest breathes around you, branches bending slightly under their weight, snow settling softly, the air crisp and steady. The carriage glides forward, wheels rolling smoothly over the blanketed path. Inside, the warmth gathers like a gentle hearth fire, even though no flame burns within. The blanket across your lap feels heavier now, like the snow outside has somehow lent you its stillness. Each breath you take feels deeper, fuller, carrying the scent of pine and the faint sweetness of wood smoke lingering far away in the village you left behind. Bramble keeps his steady rhythm, hooves pressing into the snow with a sound that's almost like a heartbeat in the quiet. His breath swirls around him, illuminated by the lantern's glow. The bells at his harness add soft punctuation to his steps, light, melodic notes that ring and fade into the stillness, like stars vanishing into dawn. Mara lifts a hand and points gently toward the trees on the right. You follow her gesture and see that the forest has opened into another small clearing. This one is filled with young saplings, their trunks slim and their branches delicate. They sway lightly even though the air is calm, as though dancing to music that only they can hear. The snow draped on their branches doesn't tumble down, but trembles faintly, shimmering under the pale light of the moon. "Those are dream trees," Mara says softly, her voice a murmur meant not to disturb the air. "They keep the wishes of travelers until the right night arrives to release them." You watch the saplings more closely, and, as your eyes adjust, you begin to notice faint glimmers, like candle sparks caught among the branches. They are subtle, not bright, but steady, pulsing as if each one is a heartbeat of someone's dream, carefully stored, waiting. You can almost feel them, humming in the air, like tiny promises that the forest keeps safe. Bramble slows instinctively as you pass, and the bells hush into longer pauses. The carriage seems to bow in respect, allowing you time to take in the quiet wonder. The air feels richer here, tinged with a sweetness you cannot quite name, like honey stirred into tea. Inside the carriage, the silver bell, hanging from its ribbon, trembles faintly, as though echoing the sapling's hidden song. You close your eyes for a moment and listen, imagining your own quiet hopes joining those lights, tucked into a branch, safe until the forest decides it is time to let them fly. When the carriage begins moving again, you glance back, and the saplings stand quietly in the distance, their faint glimmers fading from sight, but not from memory. A warmth lingers in your chest, gentle and reassuring, as though something you hadn't realized you were holding has now been taken into safekeeping. The path turns, and the trees grow taller once more. The birches and firs stand like pillars, their trunks painted silver by the moon. Snow drifts down occasionally from their branches, falling in lazy handfuls, and when it does, it sparkles like a shower of stars poured gently into the air. Mara hums again, the same low, wordless tune as before. This time, You notice how perfectly it blends with the rhythm of brambles' hooves and the bells chiming. It feels as if the forest, the horse, the driver, and you are all part of one lullaby being played together. You don't need to know the melody. You only need to rest within it. The wheels glide over the path, and you feel yourself swaying gently in time. Your body loosens further, as though each turn of the wheels unties a knot you didn't realize was there. Your shoulders sink deeper into the cushions. Your arms rest heavier, more completely. Your breath continues in long, slow waves, like the tide of a calm sea. Outside, the forest becomes quieter still. Even the owl's call has hushed. It is a silence not of emptiness, but of presence, like being in a room filled with people who all agree to listen together. You feel part of that silence, a guest welcomed into it without needing to speak. The lantern swings once more, brushing its light across a stand of trees that seem older than the others. Their trunks are thick, their bark etched with deep furrows, like lines of an ancient script. You feel certain that if you could read it, the trees' stories would span centuries. But tonight, they share only their stillness, and you accept it gladly. Inside the carriage, you let your eyes drift shut again. Even without seeing, you know you are safe, carried forward on the snowy path by the strength of bramble, the guidance of Mara, and the gentle patience of the forest. The rocking motion of the carriage lulls you further, like a cradle swaying in time with your own heartbeat. And though the journey continues, you feel no need to know where it leads. The path itself is enough. The snow, the stars, the warmth, the rhythm, each moment is a step deeper into rest. Each breath a gift, each sound a lullaby. The forest seems to whisper again, almost audible now. All is well, all is calm, all is safe. And you believe it completely. The carriage rolls on, its wheels moving with such quiet grace that you barely feel the transition from one stretch of the path to the next. Snow has gathered more thickly here, and the world outside seems softer still, like a dream within a dream, hushed and glowing beneath the watchful sky. Bramble's ears flick gently, catching sounds only he seems to notice. His breath rises in steady clouds, ribbons of warmth weaving into the cool night. The bells on his harness chime faintly with every step, a music so consistent, so delicate, that it feels less like a sound and more like part of your own heartbeat. Mara adjusts her scarf and hums again, a tone low and tender, like a lullaby sung for the forest itself. The sound blends seamlessly into the air, into the rhythm of hooves, into the sigh of snow settling on branches. It feels as if nothing here is separate horse, carriage, driver, forest, and you all joined into one tapestry of peace. The path begins to climb, just slightly. You feel the incline in the way the carriage leans, though Bramble handles it with steady ease. Lantern light brushes upward along the trunks, and soon you emerge at the top of a gentle rise. From here, the trees open enough to give you a view of the valley below. You lean toward the window, and the sight takes your breath in the most soothing way. Spread out before you is a wide expanse of forest, snow blanketing it in waves of silver and shadow. Here and there, breaks in the canopy reveal gleams of moonlight reflecting on hidden streams. Farther off, you can see where the land rises into low hills, their curves softened by winter, as though the earth itself is tucked under a quilt. The stars above mirror the snowy landscape below, thousands of tiny glimmers, above and beneath, making it feel as though you are floating between two skies. For a long moment, the carriage pauses at the rise, and Bramble turns his head slightly, as if to let you take in the view. "This is where the forest shows its heart," Mara says softly. "When you look out, you see both silence and fullness. Nothing is missing, nothing is hurried. All is exactly as it should be." You let her words sink into you, and as they do, your body relaxes more deeply. Your breath flows slower, steadier. Your shoulders loosen. Even your thoughts seem to soften, curling like smoke into stillness. The sight of the valley fills you with something larger than comfort. It feels like belonging. After a while, Bramble steps forward again, and the carriage begins its gentle descent. The wheels glide down the slope, the motion rocking you as though you're being carried in a cradle. The sound of hooves muffles further, cushioned by the deep snow, until it feels as if you're gliding rather than rolling. At the base of the slope, the trees grow taller, their trunks so wide that 3 people might not wrap around one. Their branches arch far overhead, creating a vaulted ceiling of white and silver. Icicles hang like chandeliers, and when the lantern's glow touches them, they glitter faintly, scattering pinpoints of light across the snow. You notice a peculiar stillness here, a sense of reverence, as though this part of the forest is a sanctuary, ancient and unbroken. The air feels deeper, too, carrying the faint scent of cedar and something else, something sweeter, almost like vanilla. It soothes you instantly, the aroma sinking into you, reminding you of kitchens lit by firelight, of cups of milk warmed with honey, of safety. Mara speaks only in a whisper now, so as not to disturb the hush. These are the elder trees. They've watched generations of winters pass. Travelers often say they can hear the trees breathing. You close your eyes and listen. At first, only silence greets you, but slowly, beneath it, you sense something, an almost imperceptible rhythm, like the deep inhaling and exhaling of the forest itself. It is not loud, not even sound exactly, but a presence, a reminder that everything here is alive, resting, breathing with you. Your body responds instinctively. Your own breath falls into sync with that rhythm, long and slow, until it feels as though the forest breathes through you and you through it. The connection is seamless, effortless. For a moment, you forget where you end, and the world begins. Bramble walks on, hooves steady, bells chiming. The carriage sways like a lullaby, rocking you deeper and deeper. Each breath carries you further into stillness, each sound guiding you closer to rest. And as the elder trees tower around you, their branches catching starlight, you feel as if you are moving through the heart of a dream, one that has no hurry, no edges, no end. The elder trees fade behind you as Bramble leads the carriage further along the snowy path. The forest feels lighter now, as though you have passed through a grand cathedral of stillness and are being gently returned to a softer, more intimate place. Snowflakes begin to fall again, slow and steady, each one drifting in graceful spirals. They gather on the carriage window, forming delicate patterns before dissolving into tiny drops. Some cling just long enough for you to admire their tiny, perfect shapes, tiny stars that melt at your touch. The air carries a deeper chill, but inside the carriage you are wrapped warmly, the blanket tucked around you like a cocoon. Your body has surrendered completely to rest, limbs heavy and relaxed, breath flowing at the same pace as Bramble's steps. Ahead, the lantern light reveals a narrow arch of trees. Their branches meet overhead, woven together so closely that they form a tunnel, a passageway shimmering with frost. The trunks are dusted white, their shadows stretching long and thin across the snow. Passing beneath them feels like stepping through a threshold into another world. Mara leans forward slightly. "This is the Whispering Arch," she says, her voice low but full of warmth. "The trees here carry voices, gentle ones. If you listen closely, you may hear your own thoughts return to you as kindness." You tilt your head and close your eyes, listening. At first, all you hear is the creak of the harness, the hush of snow, the steady beat of hooves. But then, beneath it, faint as a sigh, you hear something softer. It feels like words, not spoken aloud, but brushed across your heart. They are simple phrases, tender reminders. You are safe. You are cared for. You are exactly where you need to be. The sound drifts in and out with the movement of the branches, not constant, but always there when you listen. It doesn't feel surprising, it feels natural, as though the forest has always spoken in this way, and tonight you have simply slowed down enough to hear it. Inside the carriage, the little silver bell stirs faintly in response, its hum vibrating gently, as if it, too, understands the whispers. You place your hand lightly on your chest, and you can feel the echoes there, sinking into you with each breath. Bramble's bells add their music to the soft chorus, chiming gently as he moves beneath the arch. His pace is calm, deliberate, each step as steady as the beat of time itself. You realize that your body is swaying with him, as though he carries you not only forward but inward, deeper into your own stillness. As you emerge from the Whispering Arch, the path widens again. The forest opens into a small meadow, its surface smooth and untouched by any track. Moonlight washes the snow in silver, and the stars above seem doubled in brilliance. The air here feels even more spacious, as though you've entered a room where silence itself is sacred. Mara slows Bramble once more and allows the carriage to pause. "This meadow is where the forest dreams," she says softly. "Every snowflake here falls as if it carries a story, and every breath taken here is kept safe like a treasure." You gaze out over the meadow, and it feels infinite, though you know it is small. The snow reflects the light so gently that it looks like a sea of pearls spread out to the horizon. The stillness is complete, but not empty. It is full of quiet presence, of unseen life resting beneath the snow, of time itself breathing gently. You close your eyes and imagine yourself lying in that meadow, the snow beneath you soft as a pillow, the stars above you patient and kind. You imagine the forest wrapping around you like a quilt, the trees as guardians, the snow as lullaby. And as the carriage waits in the heart of that meadow, you feel a warmth fill you not from fire, but from belonging. You are part of this dream now, carried safely in its embrace. After a long, unhurried pause, Mara clicks her tongue softly, and Bramble begins to move again. The wheels roll forward, the bells resume their song, and the meadow slips gently behind you. But its peace lingers in your chest, glowing like a candle that cannot be extinguished. The path continues, winding slowly, steadily, inviting you deeper into rest. With every turn, the meadow's vast stillness drifts behind you, yet its quiet warmth lingers in your chest like a soft flame. The carriage glides forward once more, rocking with a rhythm so steady it feels as though it has always been moving, even before you stepped inside. The path narrows again, curving through groves where snow has gathered thick on the branches. Some of the trees bend beneath its weight, arching gently toward the carriage, as though bowing in greeting. When the lantern's glow touches the snow-laden branches, they sparkle with subtle fire, tiny crystals flashing for a heartbeat before returning to shadow. Inside, the blanket hugs closer around you, its lavender fragrance mingling with the cool pine drifting through the window's small crack. You take in a deep, slow breath, and the air feels like a soothing tonic, clear, cool, calming. Each exhale leaves you lighter, as if the forest is carrying away every last fragment of restlessness. Bramble continues his steady march, ears twitching at the occasional rustle of a small creature beneath the snow. His bells sing in soft intervals, steady and melodic. They sound almost like gentle conversation with the forest, each note answered by the whisper of the wind or the creak of a branch. Mara tilts her head slightly, as though listening too. Every forest has its secret choir, she murmurs. Here, it's the bells, and the snow, and the branches, all keeping time together. The words sink into you like a lullaby, and you realize you are already swaying in rhythm, your breath aligning with the gentle cadence of the ride. The path soon widens again, leading into a new clearing. This one is smaller than the meadow, intimate and quiet, its edges marked by a circle of tall fir trees. In the middle rises a small stone well, its lip frosted over, a soft cap of snow settled on its roof. The lantern's glow touches its stones, revealing patches of moss that remain green even in the depth of winter. Mara slows Bramble and lets the carriage pause nearby. The wishing well? She says softly, almost reverently. It doesn't ask for coins or for words. It simply listens to the wishes of your heart. You gaze at the well, its shape blurred slightly through the frosted glass. The silence here feels deeper than elsewhere, as though even the snow is listening. You close your eyes and let yourself lean into the stillness. Without effort, a gentle thought forms in your chest, not a demand, not even a request, but a hope, light and tender. You let it drift toward the well, wordless and quiet, trusting the forest to hold it. For a moment, the silver bell inside the carriage trembles softly, as though acknowledging your thought. Then stillness returns, complete and safe. When you open your eyes, you notice that the snow around the well glows faintly, as though moonlight has gathered there in particular kindness. Bramble stamps a hoof softly, sending up a tiny puff of snow. Mara smiles without turning her head. The well has heard you, she whispers. After a pause long enough to feel complete, Mara clicks her tongue gently, and Bramble resumes his slow, steady steps. The carriage moves onward, leaving the well behind, though the sense of being heard and held stays within you. The forest deepens once more, trees pressing close, their trunks striped with shadow and light. The air grows cooler, yet you feel only warmth inside the carriage. Your body has grown heavier with comfort, your eyelids pulling downward, your breath slow and deep. Outside, the lantern's glow stretches forward, always lighting the way, while the snow continues to fall in quiet feathers. Every flake seems to remind you, rest, rest, rest. The journey feels endless now, but in the gentlest way, like a song without hurry, like a dream that does not need to end. And as Bramble carries you further into the snowy night, you surrender even more to the rhythm of hooves, the lull of the wheels, the peace of the path that holds you so tenderly. The snowy path stretches forward, winding deeper into the heart of the forest. The air here feels softer still, as if every branch and every flake of snow has agreed to lower its voice. for your sake. The night is utterly calm, wrapped in a hush that feels protective, like a quilt stitched from silence. The lantern's glow paints the snow in shades of gold and amber, each shimmer fading as the light passes and reappearing just ahead, as though guiding you gently from moment to moment. The sway of the carriage has become so natural, so steady, that your body rocks without thought. Your breath, your heartbeat, the rhythm of Bramble's hooves all moving as one. Bramble's steps remain even, a constant pattern: crunch, hush, crunch. His ears flick forward and back, listening, though nothing stirs but the occasional drift of snow from a heavy branch. The bells on his harness sing their quiet tune, each chime a little star in the air. Mara sits tall and calm on the driver's seat, her scarf trailing like a ribbon of midnight behind her. She glances back now and then, her eyes glimmering in the lantern's glow, making sure you are comfortable. She doesn't speak, she doesn't need to. Her presence is enough, steady as the horse, gentle as the night. The path bends once more, and you find yourself entering a grove of tall pines. Their trunks rise straight as columns, and their crowns weave into a high canopy that blocks out much of the sky. The lantern's glow reflects against the snow, and the space feels like a long hall, built not by hands but by time and patience. Inside the grove, you notice something strange and wonderful. The snow on the ground glimmers faintly, as though each flake has captured a drop of starlight. The whole path sparkles as Bramble moves forward, as if he is carrying you across a road of scattered diamonds. The sight is mesmerizing, and you let your gaze rest on it, your mind loosening into quiet awe. The sound here is unlike anywhere else. It's not silence, not entirely. It's a deep, velvety stillness, like the pause after a lullaby's final note. You close your eyes for a moment, and you can feel that stillness inside you too, settling gently into every part of you that once carried weight. The silver bell above your head hums faintly as the carriage sways, a low vibration that feels more like touch than sound. You let it soothe you, a soft reminder that you are safe, carried, held. As the grove continues, the trees begin to open slightly, and through the gaps, you see glimpses of the night sky again. Stars twinkle between the branches, some so bright they seem to rest just above the treetops. One star in particular catches your attention, large and steady, glowing with a warmth unlike the others. You let your eyes linger on it, and for a moment it feels as though the star is watching you in return, keeping vigil as you travel. Mara notices your gaze and smiles faintly. "That one is the traveler's star," she says softly, her voice almost lost in the quiet. "It appears on nights when the forest wishes to guide someone home." You keep your eyes on the star, and the thought sinks into you like warm tea spreading through your chest. Home, not just a place, but a feeling of belonging, of rest, of being exactly where you are meant to be. You realize you already feel it here, in the carriage, in the forest, in the snow. Bramble breathes out a long plume of mist, and his pace slows just slightly, as if to let you enjoy the moment. The carriage rocks gently, the wheels whisper over the snow, and the star above remains steady, glowing like a promise. You sink further into the cushions, your eyelids heavy, your body limp with ease. Each breath feels longer, deeper, more complete, as though the night itself is breathing through you. And as the grove drifts behind you, you realize that the journey itself is home, that every step, every sound, every shimmer of snow has been guiding you toward this sense of peace all along. The path continues, steady and patient, inviting you deeper into rest with every turn of the wheels. The path now winds through a gentler stretch of forest, where the trees stand farther apart and moonlight streams more freely between them. The snow glows faintly, as though it has absorbed the light of countless nights and now gives it back in a soft silver radiance. The whole world feels luminous, hushed, and full of quiet wonder. Bramble's hooves make a steady rhythm, crunch, hush, crunch, carrying you onward at a pace so calm that you hardly notice time passing. His bells chime in low, even tones, each note lingering in the air before dissolving like mist. The sound is both music and heartbeat, steadying you more deeply with every step. Inside the carriage, the blanket has grown warmer against you, as though it has learned your shape and decided to hold you even closer. The cushions beneath you feel softer now, almost cloud-like, rocking you with the gentle sway of the carriage. You nestle deeper, letting the motion cradle you into further stillness. The silver bell above your head hums faintly with the sway, its vibration subtle, more a feeling than a sound. Each gentle tremor seems to pass through you, untangling the last threads of tension, leaving only ease. Ahead, the forest opens once more into a small glade. At its center stands a single tree, larger and older than the rest. Its trunk is wide and gnarled, its branches sprawling like open arms. Snow rests gently upon them, but the tree seems unbowed, standing strong and timeless. Around its roots, the snow glows faintly, as if moonlight has chosen this tree as its companion. Mara slows Bramble and lets the carriage pause at the edge of the glade. Her voice is hushed when she speaks. "That is the hearth tree," she says softly. "Travelers say its branches hold memories of every soul who has ever found comfort in these woods. If you rest near it, you can feel the warmth of all who came before you." You gaze at the tree, and indeed, you feel something, a quiet, radiant presence that seems to extend from its roots into the ground beneath you, into the air around you, into your very chest. It is not heat, exactly, but a sensation of being held, of being remembered, of belonging to something greater than yourself. For a moment, the forest feels fuller alive with unseen voices, not speaking, but resting with you. You close your eyes and let the feeling wrap around you, like a quilt stitched from countless nights of peace. In that presence, you sense kindness, patience, and a timeless assurance. You are not alone. You are part of this forever resting world. Bramble shifts gently, stamping a hoof, and a plume of mist curls upward like incense. Mara smiles faintly and murmurs to him. The bells jingle softly, blending with the hush of snow. When the carriage moves again, the hearth tree slowly slips behind you, though its warmth lingers in your heart. You feel lighter, safer, as though a thread has been tied between you and that ancient presence, a thread that will remain no matter how far you travel. The path curves once more, and the trees grow closer again. Their trunks lean inward, but instead of feeling confined, it feels like being guided down a long hallway, escorted gently toward deeper rest. The snowflakes fall thicker here, whispering as they drift, their sound soft as a lullaby sung by the air itself. Your eyelids grow heavy again. You let them lower, and even with your eyes closed, you can sense the sway of the carriage, the rhythm of hooves, the glow of the lantern leading you forward. Each sound, each motion tells you the same thing: rest, rest, rest. And so, carried by Bramble's strength, guided by Mara's steady hand, and held by the forest's endless patience, You allow yourself to sink deeper, further still into calm, further still into safety, further still into peace. The trees part once more, and the snowy path leads into a valley where the moonlight lingers low and close, as though it has descended just for you. The air feels softer here, tinged with a faint sweetness, like milk warmed with honey. Everything carries the sense of welcome, as if this valley has been waiting patiently for your arrival. Bramble's hooves fall into a slower rhythm, his breath drifting in steady silver clouds. The bells on his harness sing their quiet notes, each one blending seamlessly with the night. The wheels roll gently, cushioned by the thick snow, so that the carriage feels less like it moves upon the earth and more like it glides across a dream. Mara draws her scarf closer and hums again, the same tune she has carried through the journey. This time, you notice that her humming seems to echo faintly, answered by the forest itself. The pines sigh with the same rhythm, the snow falls in time with her melody, and the world folds around the song as if it has always belonged to it. Ahead, the lantern light reveals another wonder, a frozen stream that winds across the valley like a ribbon of glass. Its surface glows faintly blue, as though lit from beneath by the moon. At some places, the ice is clear, and you glimpse dark water flowing slowly under its frozen roof, carrying secrets to places unseen. Mara slows Bramble as you cross a small wooden bridge. The wheels creak softly, the sound blending with the hush of snow. You lean to the window, gazing down at the frozen stream. For a moment you think you see tiny sparkles moving within the ice points of light, like fragments of stars, carried along by the current. Whether they are reflections or something more, you cannot say, but they stir a feeling of wonder in you, as though the night sky itself has hidden treasures in the water to guide you. Beyond the bridge, the path curves toward a grove where lanterns glow unexpectedly. Not man-made lanterns, but clusters of mushrooms along the snow, each one glowing softly from within. Their light is gentle, golden white, scattered in small pools that look like fallen starlight. The forest's lanterns, Mara whispers. They grow here in winter to guide the deer, the foxes, and sometimes travelers like us. Bramble walks slowly through the grove, careful and reverent. The bells hush into softer tones, as if even they wish not to disturb the glow. You lean closer to the glass and watch the mushroom's light spread across the snow, turning the ground into a quilt of gold and silver patches. Inside the carriage, you feel the silver bell tremble again, its hum joining the luminous stillness. The glow outside reflects faintly on the window and brushes across your face, warm and tender. For a moment, you could almost believe that the mushrooms are alive with awareness, watching over the path with quiet kindness. The grove ends, and the forest closes in once more, but the memory of light lingers in your chest like an ember, steady and calm. The snow falls thicker now, large flakes drifting slowly, swirling in the lantern glow like feathers shaken from an unseen wing. Each one lands gently, layering the path, the trees, the carriage itself in a deeper hush. You imagine the forest tucking itself in for sleep, every branch and every root wrapped in the quilt of snow. You settle deeper into the cushions, blanket snug around you, your body heavy with rest. The sway of the carriage lulls you further still, every motion a reminder of safety. Your eyelids grow heavier, closing longer each time you blink, until the world outside blurs into a soft watercolor of white and gold. And though the path continues forward, winding through the snowy night, you realize the journey itself is the destination. Every step Bramble takes, every bell that chimes, every breath of the forest, all of it, carries you deeper into peace, deeper into the kind of rest that feels endless and whole. The valley fades behind you, and the night welcomes you forward with infinite patience. The carriage drifts onward, rocking gently as though it has taken on the rhythm of a lullaby. The forest leans close again, trees rising like tall guardians on either side of the snowy path. Their trunks are striped with moonlight, their branches feathered with white, and the silence they keep is soft, watchful, serene. Bramble's steady steps are the only sound at first. Crunch, hush, crunch, each one measured, patient, assured. His bells add their silver notes, chiming in soft harmony with the night. Every sound seems chosen, every moment perfectly timed to deepen your calm. Mara sits quietly, reins loose in her hands, her scarf shimmering faintly with frost. She doesn't hum this time, but the forest hums for her. You can hear it in the sigh of branches above, in the faint shift of snow as it settles, in the distant murmur of water running slow beneath frozen layers. The world has become one vast cradle song, and you are being rocked at its center. The path bends gently and leads into another clearing. Here, the snow lies untouched, smooth as silk, glowing faintly beneath the lantern light. At the center of the clearing stands something unexpected, a circle of stones rising waist high, their surfaces worn and mossy, their shapes softened by centuries. Each stone carries a cap of snow, and together they look like sentinels keeping a timeless watch. Mara slows Bramble and lets the carriage pause nearby. Her voice is low, almost reverent. This is the circle of quiet. Travelers say the stones remember every song, every prayer, every dream whispered here. They hold them, safe and unbroken, forever. You gaze through the window at the stones. The silence here feels deeper, almost tangible, like a soft weight resting gently on your shoulders. You close your eyes, and in the stillness you imagine countless voices layered together, not loud, not distinct, but present, woven into the air like threads of a quilt. You feel yourself added to that tapestry, another thread among many, part of something vast yet tender. For a moment, the silver bell inside the carriage trembles, as if in recognition. The sound is so soft that it seems to join the stone's memory, leaving behind an echo that belongs to the clearing now. When Bramble resumes his pace, the stones slip into the distance, their presence lingering like a hand resting on your back, supportive, kind, eternal. The forest narrows again, and the path winds between towering firs. Snow drifts down, more thickly here, flakes as wide as petals. They catch in Bramble's mane and cling to the carriage windows, turning the outside world into a soft blur. Through the haze, the lantern's glow paints faint halos of light, circles within circles, guiding you deeper into calm. Inside, you feel the weight of sleep pressing closer, not in a sudden wave, but in gentle layers. Your arms feel heavier, your legs deeply at rest, your breath slower than ever. Each time your eyelids lower, they stay closed a little longer, until opening them again feels unnecessary. Still, you sense the journey, the sway of the carriage, the rhythm of hooves, the faint chime of bells. Even without sight, you know you are being carried, guided, held. The forest's lullaby continues, wrapping around you like a shawl. The path bends one last time before straightening, stretching out ahead beneath the snowy arch of branches. The air feels different here, softer, more final, as though this part of the journey is leading you into the deepest layers of rest. And as the carriage continues steadily forward, you let go even more fully, trusting Bramble, trusting Mara, trusting the forest, trusting the night. You are safe, you are warm, you are already drifting deeper and deeper into the peace that waits just ahead. The path stretches onward, straight and true, as if it has chosen to become a lullaby without words. The branches above arch in gentle curves, their snow-laden tips bending toward one another, forming a tunnel of silver and white. The lantern at the front of the carriage glows softly, its light pooling over the snow, guiding you with patient steadiness. Bramble moves unhurriedly, each hoof-fall deliberate, each breath a soft plume of silver mist. His bells sing their tender song, the notes drawn out now, slower, lower, as though even they are preparing for sleep. The carriage rocks in a rhythm, so gentle it feels, like the swaying of a hammock strung between stars. Inside, the blanket is warm against you, heavier now, in the most comforting way, as if the forest has laid its quiet hand across you. The lavender fragrance lingers still, weaving into your breath, calming your mind with each inhale. The cushions cradle you deeply, as though they have promised not to let you stir until morning. Mara remains steady at the reins, her presence strong and serene. She glances back once, her eyes kind, her face lit softly by the lantern's glow. She doesn't speak, for she doesn't need to. Everything around you already says what words could not. Rest. Be still. You are safe here. The path opens into a wide clearing, bathed in moonlight. Snow spreads unbroken across it, smooth as silk, gleaming as though the earth has been wrapped in silver cloth. At the center rises a small hill, and atop it stands a lone pine tree, its branches heavy with snow, its crown tipped with starlight. The sight is simple, but it holds the grace of something eternal. Bramble slows to a halt, and for a long, unhurried moment, the carriage rests in silence. You gaze at the tree through half-lidded eyes. The snow sparkles faintly across the hill, and the star above seems to shine only for this tree, as though the heavens themselves have chosen it as their companion. Mara's voice comes as a whisper, barely more than breath. This is the resting pine. Travelers stop here before the last stretch of the journey. Its branches gather the weariness of the night and keep it safe so that you need not carry it further. You close your eyes and lean your head back, imagining the pine above you, its roots spreading deep into the earth, its branches strong enough to hold not just snow but every heaviness you've ever carried. You let the thought sink into the quiet, and with each breath you feel lighter, as if something within you has been gently lifted and placed in the tree's keeping. The silver bell above your head hums softly, as though confirming the gift has been accepted. The sound resonates deep within you, leaving behind a feeling of stillness so complete it is almost luminous. When Bramble begins again, his hooves press softer against the snow, his bells ring in slower intervals, and the carriage seems to float more than roll. The clearing slips behind you, but the sense of lightness remains, glowing in your chest like the afterglow of candlelight. The forest draws closer once more, branches weaving tightly overhead. The snowfall eases, and the air grows so still that every sound feels magnified. The whisper of wheels, the faint jingle of bells, the soft hush of your own breath. You allow your eyes to drift closed again. Even without sight, you know the lantern still glows. Bramble still carries you, and Mara still guides with steady hands. The world has become one seamless lullaby, and you are resting within it, safe and warm. The path continues, leading you forward, but already you feel the nearness of an ending, not abrupt, not final, but tender, like the last note of a song that lingers sweetly in the air. And as you drift deeper and deeper into calm, you know that soon the journey will close gently around you, carrying you into the quietest sleep. The forest grows quieter still, as though every branch and every flake of snow has agreed to join in silence for this last stretch of your journey. The path ahead straightens, wrapped in moonlight, a glowing ribbon that seems to lead not only forward, but inward, toward the deepest heart of peace. Bramble's hooves fall into the softest rhythm, yet gentle, unhurried, steady as the slow beat of a drum heard from far away. His bells ring faintly, their silver notes soften to whispers, each one dissolving into the night like a sigh. Even the wheels of the carriage seem quieter, rolling over snow as though the earth itself is carrying you the rest of the way. Mara sits tall at the front, her scarf trailing lightly, her presence steady and sure. She doesn't speak now, for words are no longer needed. Her calm fills the air, her quiet confidence wrapping around you like another blanket. You feel that as long as she is there, and Bramble is there, nothing in the world could disturb your rest. The lantern at the front of the carriage glows more softly now, its light dimmer, gentler, as though it knows you are near the end of the path. It casts golden arcs that fade almost as soon as they touch the snow, leaving behind not darkness, but a tender, silvery stillness. The forest opens one last time. Ahead lies a wide glade, its snow smooth and luminous, reflecting the stars above so perfectly that it feels as though you are gliding into the sky itself. In the very center, where the snow lies deepest, the moonlight gathers in a pool of soft brilliance, glowing as though the ground itself were lit from within. Bramble slows to a halt, his breath rising in calm, even plumes. The bells hush into silence. The carriage rests at the edge of the glowing glade, and everything around you falls into the deepest quiet. The world holds its breath, waiting only for you to rest. You gaze out with heavy eyes. The snow gleams softly. The stars shine steadily. The forest leans close, protective and kind. The silver bell above your head trembles once, releasing a final, tender hum that lingers in the air, then fades into stillness. Mara turns her head, her eyes gentle, her voice no louder than a breath. Here, the path ends for tonight. The rest belongs to you now. You close your eyes. You feel the warmth of the blanket around you, the softness of the cushions beneath you, the rocking motion still echoing in your body. You feel the forest's hush filling you, the horse's patience holding you, the driver's calm guiding you. And then, as if the entire world has leaned down to whisper to you alone, you hear it. All is well. You are safe. You may sleep now. Your breath deepens, long and steady. Your body releases into complete stillness. The carriage, the horse, the forest all dissolve into one seamless dream. The snowy path has carried you here to the place where journey and rest become the same. The night wraps around you, endless and kind. You drift softly, completely into sleep